Good morning and welcome to Global Perspectives, where we analyze key social policies from around the world. Today we bring you a special report comparing New Zealand to Colombia in three critical areas: indigenous rights, environmental conservation, and welfare spending.
That's right, Pau. While both nations have made progress in these areas, their approaches and outcome differ significantly. New Zealand, known for its progressive policies, has implemented strategies that exceed global standards in some sectors. Meanwhile, Colombia, a country rich in cultural and natural diversity, faces a unique challenges that impact its social policies.
Throughout this assessment, we will break down the data, highlight the contrast, and discuss what each country can learn from the other, how they compare in indigenous representation, who is leading in environmental protection, and which country invests more in social welfare.
Stay with us as we dive into the facts and figures. Let's get started.
Hi Dina, today we are going to compare New Zealand and Colombia. Let's start with indigenous rights.
Sure, if we look at the percentage of indigenous population, we can see a major difference. Colombia's indigenous groups represent only 4.4% of the total population, whereas in New Zealand, Maori make up 16.5%, exceeding Colombian percentage by a significant margin.
Exactly, and when it comes to land recognition, Colombia seems to be significantly surpassing New Zealand, with 28% of its national territory legally recognized as indigenous land, while New Zealand has only 6%. But we need to remember that land recognition doesn't always mean full protection.
That's true. Colombia still struggles with illegal activities affecting indigenous land. Another key contrast is political representation. While New Ireland has 22% of parliamentary seats reserved for Maori, in Colombia, indigenous representatives hold only 3% of total seats. That's a much lower proportion.
Now let's move on to environmental conservation. One major difference is the percentage of renewable energy in each country. New Zealand relies on 82% renewable energy, which is higher compared to Colombia, 69%.
Yes, but when it comes to protect national parks, Colombia has 15% of its land officially preserved, while New Zealand has 30%, significantly surpassing Colombia efforts. It seems like New Zealand has focused more on long term environmental sustainability.
Absolutely. Another interesting point is deforestation reduction. New Zealand has managed to reduce deforestation by 25% in the 20 years, while Colombia has only seen a 10% reduction in 10 years. This shows that New Zealand's environmental policies are exceeding Colombia's ineffectiveness.
That's a good observation. Now let's talk about the welfare budget and the social impact. I regret to say that Colombia's public spending on welfare is much lower than New Zealand's. Colombia allocates 12% of its GDP, whereas New Zealand spends 30%, which is a greater percentage.
That makes a difference in poverty reduction as well. New Zealand has reduced poverty by 35% in the last decade. It's setting Colombia's 12% reduction. This means their welfare programs are much more effective.
And if we look at free education coverage, New Zealand reaches 100% of its population, while Colombia only covers 85%. Again, we see a higher investment in social policies in New Zealand.
Hi, to summarize, New Zealand is leading in welfare spending, indigenous representation, and environmental conservation, while Colombia is doing better in territory recognition but it still struggles in other areas.
Exactly. If Colombia means to improve its social policies, it should go on investing in education, environmental protection, and indigenous rights.
And this concludes our comparison. We hope you found this insight useful. Thanks for watching Global Perspectives.